আচ্ছা, একটা জিনিস, আমাদের এই লাইভটা শেষ হবার পরে ইজ দিস সেশন বিং রেকর্ডেড? এটা কি তোমরা পরে কোথাও শেয়ার করছো?
Yes, sir. It's on Facebook Live, so it will remain on our Facebook page. And just to inform,
পারফেক্ট।
we are live right now, so I think we can start with the session as we speak. So,
Great.
just to
ও গ্রেট।
reintroduce myself, my name is Shabantaka, and on behalf of Team EDC, I'll be moderating this e-talk session with both of you. So, the
হ্যালো
first
শুভঙ্কর।
question, with your permission, I'd like to start. The first question I have is, how did Foodka come into existence? Like the idea of it, the technicalities of it. মানে কিরম when how did it start?
Foodka was a brainchild of Mir Afsar Ali, and probably I have answered this thing for maybe around 20,250th time. So this will be the next thing. মির, তুমি এবারের গল্পটা তুমি বলো, মানে প্রত্যেকবার আমি এই গল্পটা বলি, এবারটা তুমি বলো।
Hi, good evening, everyone, and thank you so much, EDC Durgapur, for welcoming Foodka and Bhaipo to this chat session. First of all, Durgapur is a very special place for me. Once upon a time, there were shed site orders in my name in Durgapur. That happens to be so. So there were shed site orders in Durgapur, and then, of course, things got a little better, and now I'm on good terms with them. And I love the people of Durgapur, and I love people uh, who stay in Durgapur. Very close ties to that. So
Sir, I apologize for interrupting, but your audio is a bit disconnected. If you could speak into the mic, please.
yeah, I'm close to the mic. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, better.
Yeah,
It's better now. Yep.
right. So as I was saying, I kind of share very close ties with Durgapur. Uh, Once upon a time, there were set site orders in my name, Durgapur, because my in-laws didn't like me too much. So I was not their favorite citizen. But now, of course, things are much better, and which I love visiting. No matter where I travel across the globe, Durgapur is one city which I kind of get immense pleasure sleeping, and I completely at rest when I come over to Durgapur. So it's a very very favorite city of mine. But coming back to answering your question, Shivantika, about Foodka and the journey, it was before 2007. 2007 saw the official launch of the YouTube channel. But before that, perhaps a year and a half ago, I Indrajit Lahiri on a food trip, and we were searching for the best kochuri and best meals of
Yes.
Calcutta. And
Yes.
this was organized by Calcutta Times. This was an exclusive food trail. Uh, Food bloggers were invited, and readers of the publication were also invited. And I was also invited to join him. That's when I met him. I got friends, hit it off from the first quarter itself because I loved the way he was analyzing food, and I loved the way he was talking about the food that we were having, which is very important. I it was making the journey interesting. Then, of course, we exchanged numbers, and I remember him telling me that if I ever had the urge to go to certain places, he just let me know and would accompany me, and we would have a good food outing. But that actually never happened. It was much later when I thought about this plan where we could explore food because I was bored doing television. I kill continuously, and that was the time around which I had taken the back. And 2006, in the month of June, was the last episode of the last season. That was season 9. After which, I kind of thought of taking a sabbatical and resting a bit. I didn't want to do television, and Miracle happened to be the only thing I was doing on television at that point of time. So then the bug bit me, and I wanted to do something online. I wanted to do something in the digital space, and that's when I kind of wanted to explore something food or travel. Now I couldn't travel at that point of time because I was bound by my radio duties, and since I host the breakfast show on radio morning, I couldn't travel much. But I thought upon kind of jumping into the food wagon because food is something which I love. we all love food, and we are foodies, we are bongs, and we are foodies. So I thought of doing something uh, on food, and that's when I remembered Indrajit Lahiri. I loved his very back, casual sense of enthusiasm. The first moment that you get to meet Indrajit Lahiri, feel he's not very excited about things in life. He's very disappointed with the political scenario. He's very disappointed with the people around him. He wished one was dead by that point of time. So he's a very bad person. And I somehow liked that a lot. So I approached him, I called him, and I said, I have a plan in mind. So would you care to listen? I invited him to my, that's where we discussed about the Foodka plan, and how the name came about was another angle. That's something which we Bangalis are very accustomed to. We have dadas and kakas in our lives. So, like you have a borda, mejda, shejda, chorda, you also have mika, shika, chorka, chotka, and foodka. There was a kaka figure, and kaka, like you say kaka to a person whom you are in awe of. We say, "Are kaka, ki korecho kaka, jio kaka, darun kaka." So I was very much in awe of his idea as, as regards food. So I said, why don't we name a particular product Foodka? So it's like a food kaka, and he had to be the Foodka, and I had to be the bhaipo. The bhaipo who doesn't know much about food. It's that he loves out or he loves going to places, but he doesn't have an in-depth knowledge about the food that he's eating. Right. And so society, the quintessential Bob Lauren Foster kind of guy who would know everything about food, and since he was blogging, he was enormous by that point of time. So I said, why don't we marry both products and come out with something as Foodka? And in September 2000, we launched the channel. Today.
So today, after 3 years and 5 seasons, now the sixth season is going on, and around 36, 37 episodes. We are almost a 2.5 lakhs family. It's quite a good number, and basically it's fun. I have always been a fan of Mir Afsar Ali, be it Shokalman, be it Miracle, be it his presentation skills as such. So it was a fanboy moment for me when he called me up. Hello, আমি মীর আফসার আলী, আপনার সঙ্গে কথা বলা যাবে? আর of course কথা বলা যাবে. So this is how this whole thing started. So I used to write on food. Being a Bengali, I am extremely opinionated. This should be this, that should be that. And if I don't like something, it's the worst thing in the world. So I was under that mindset. An extremely opinionated, food loving Bengali. And now, after 3 years, you can say I'm extremely influenced by him or the team Foodka. So I have become less judgmental. I have become, I have rather learned to accept things and accept food. So this is how Foodka has been launched. It's a journey of what, this much?
We
That's
actually
wonderful to hear, sir.
we are yet to complete 3 years. We started in September, 8th September 2017. So we are yet to complete years, and within this span of time, we've managed to considerably increase our family base. And it's lovely to have so many people sharing our common
Yes.
interest in food. Food helps connect over a very range of people. It helps cut across various segments of people, across various groups, and also amongst the different classes that we have. We have this class by food helps, like a bunch of cattle, and there are so many conversations that we can strike up over food that such a global hit.
Yes, sir, definitely. In reference to the title song of Foodka, the first part itself says, "Na janne kono dharmo, janne kono jat." Definitely, I think that's reflected wonderfully through your web series. So, my next question would be to Mr. Indrajit Lahiri. So, how
Yes.
has your journey been from being an IT consultant to Moha Mushkil and now finally to the mega successful Foodka? How has it been for you?
Honestly, you can say I live two different lives. From around 9 to 4, I manage the RFPs, the tenders, PSU units, hardware things, data centers, manpower. But beyond 4 or on the shooting days, I am at my awkward self before the camera. So I have learned to face the camera. Uh, you can say it's a strange life. Like I have always been behind the camera. I have always loved writing. I write on a blog called Moha Mushkil that has got a more than 300 articles, so it's still there. So I have always been a camera shy person, and I always used to tell, এটা এটা না ক্যামেরায় ওকে ওই রকম অভিনয় করলে ভালো হতো, ওইটা এইরকম করলে ভালো হতো, as usual those opinionated stuff. So I used to write, and I didn't ever feel the need to come in front of camera. But as life takes a U-turn, now I have to be in front of camera. I have to face the camera, and I have learned a lot from him, Mir Afsar Ali and Team Foodka. So I guess the basic is always the same. You have to love what you do. Either it's IT consultation, either it's manpower management, or it's talking on food. It's always what you love most. You have to choose your path. You have to choose your love, and that will take you. So that's what, like, it's the love of life and taking it as it comes.
All right, so our next question is for Mr. Ali. Sir, your life has a very high concentration of lights, cameras, and all around showbiz. So I would just like to ask you, at what exact point did you get the idea for Foodka as a web series which combines the history of our city, the incredible cuisines that can be found in it, and of course your iconic comic relief, your iconic brand of comic relief?
As I was just telling you, it was a time where I was not happy to be too much of television, and I felt very saturated. With the break. That's when I thought of doing something on the web space. And when I thought about Indrajit, the of Foodka was already developed in my head as regards the appearance of the person. The person would have to be someone like this guy. I honestly had not read much of his blogs. I had not read too many of his blogs. I had read a couple of them, but not so intensively. So do something. My basic idea was I needed to do something where I could fit the image portion of Foodka, which is why Indrajit Lahiri fit the bill very well. Here was a person who was so knowledgeable about food, and he would suggest to our subscribers, people who would come on board, and tell where to eat, how to go about the entire business of eating. And it was such an elaborate journey. Uh, I knew about the fact that he was a historian of sorts when it came to food. He would track down delicacies and talk about, in-depth talk, which I would say, about how the food originated and how it became popular and what is the way forward for this particular food, how it's across stores like fish consumable and fish Malay would have such a different flavor. So here was one person who would make very interesting conversation. We just had to translate that on the camera. So I had his image in my mind. When I thought about Foodka, I had this person who's like a hurly-burly guy who would boast of knowledge. And Indrajit Lahiri fit the bill perfectly. And many people have also asked me that when you started this brand, Indrajit Lahiri, you always have been in a team role. So why name Foodka after yourself? Why didn't you play Foodka? And this is something that I've said so many times. I do that again for it. I'm not I did not. visualize myself as Foodka. It was only Indrajit Lahiri. He was the only guy I thought about. I didn't even think of many other co-actors that I work with who share an equal passion for food. I could have chosen someone from that fraternity, but I wanted someone who quintessentially is not an audio guy. So Indrajit Lahiri was uh, like a ready-made item for me, and I had to hit on that, and thus we started the journey.
All right, so moving on to our next question. Foodka is a journey through several restaurants in our city and in other cities as well. So, what do you think are the factors that make for a truly memorable eating space or a restaurant? And a follow up on that is how do you think that these restaurants are going to cope up with the COVID-19 situation?
I would like to take this question. For Team Foodka, the food is the king and it's not the restaurants. So what we do, we first decide on the food item that we are going to showcase. Let's say if we talk of season 6. So in season 6, we are showcasing how the food industry is coping up in the post-COVID scenario. The hygiene factor, the lack of business, the fear among people, the guests. So we are trying to address how the restaurants are facing that. Now, in the first 2 episodes, we have segmented it in different food categories. Like there is a cafe, there is a momo joint, there is a biryani joint, and we had chosen those places accordingly who are taking precautions. Like there is a biryani joint who is serving hand sanitizers with every parcel. There is a momo joint who is giving face masks to people who are not carrying it to the restaurants. There is a cafe who has reduced their sitting capacity by 50% to maintain the social distancing. So this way, the places were chosen. This way, food took the center stage and came before the restaurants, before the outlets, before the restaurateurs, the heroes or heroines. Food took the center stage. So this is how it's conceptualized. And this is how it will be in Foodka. Food will be the hero. It will be the first priority.
I'll just like to add on to
Now,
that.
please.
When we shot 2 episodes post lockdown, first of all, we were very happy about the date being announced. 8th of June was the day when all restaurants were open, shopping malls opened up, and standalone restaurants also opened up on that day. And we were waiting for that day because I remember we had a conversation in the first week of June, somewhere around the first or second. Let's let's particularly because everyone's been waiting. So people are feeling cooped up at home. They want some kind of entertainment. And what better entertainment than food? People would love to go out to restaurants, but people were not sure about how to go about it, what to expect, what not to expect. So here we kind of thought of 2 episodes which would act like. So when you go out to eat, you just need to watch these 2 episodes, and it almost covers everything that you need to remember when you go out. Um, Overload. If you look at life around, you're constantly being told you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to public hygiene, personal hygiene, wear masks, maintain physical distancing. So many things coming at you, being bombarded at you, makes you or tends to make you very uncomfortable. And eating out at restaurants is a very lovable activity. You don't go out when you're very tense, you like very tense as if you're going out for war. So we want to just be aware of certain pointers when they go out to eat at restaurant. Yes, and it will take a lot of time for things to get back to normal. We really need to find this word normal. So welcome to the new normal where people go out to eat fearlessly. First of all, you need to get that fear out of you. That এ বাবা কি হবে আমি রেস্তোরাঁতে খেতে যাব তারপর হয়ে যায়, are not playing around. They are extremely conscious of the fact that they are responsible for their customers. So they would be taking every single precaution to ensure that. We just need to cooperate. It's a two-way game. The restaurants are preparing the ground so that you and I, we enjoy a comfortable meal, either with our partners or with our entire family. We want to go and eat out because it's a long, long time since we dined out. So the need is both parties need each other, and not going to restaurants or saying or telling people don't visit restaurants. It might not be safe. It could be dangerous. Is a very stupid thing to do. Like we going out to work. Like one day children will go out to school. This is also an essential part of life, and we are hopeful that these two episodes have served the purpose of making people aware of what to expect and what not to expect.
Yep.
They certainly have, sir. And we have a couple of questions from our audience. The first question is
Yep.
by Ayush Datta. He asks, how is Foodka a business which is made profitable after excluding all of the travel as well as the uh, food expenses?
Oh, Foodka is not a profitable
Uh,
venture at all. I'd like to answer
hmm,
this question on behalf of Music Society. It's not a profitable venture at all.
please.
In fact, this is the only two t-shirts we kind of have. We do not even have any other clothes. We always wear the same shirt. For This is the only thing he wears. I wear the same thing. In fact, I think I have another t-shirt somewhere in my almirah, which I cannot find, I cannot locate. So it's not a very profitable venture. We always end up at restaurants with places, and we expect the restaurant guy to tell us, "Na na, taka dite hobe na." This is something we expect from all restaurant, and we never pay our bills on time. We always exploit people, and we wait for them to tell us that না না টাকা দিতে হবে না, এটা কি করছেন আপনারা, খেতে এসেছেন, আপনারা খেয়ে চলে যান, আমাদের এটা তো আমাদের প্লেজার। We expect people. I am really not bothered about how it's doing financially. I do this because I love being with life. He does it because he loves being with. Somebody else is making the money. I am not sure who's making the money, but somebody else is making the money and they are getting the profits. We are absolutely not aware of what's happening as regards the finance. Now, Indrajit Lahiri will answer this on a very formal note.
No, no, it's perfectly fine. So, as Meet said, that this is not really, if I talk of it as a business, it's not really that much profitable. The way it's shown, the way it's portrayed, and the amount of time that we spent behind this, the shooting, editing, our editing team does that, and promotion of this, it really doesn't pay up to that much if I talk of man hour. बट यस हिंदी में जिसको बोलते हैं ना कि दाल में नमक होना चाहिए, अभी दाल में नमक तो हो जाता है, अब घी वगैरह उतना होता नहीं, वो अलग बात है. सो दैट्स द वे इट इज. इट covers the bills, but doesn't really make that much of a profit.
In fact, it's a self-sustainable product, Shivantika. We
Yes.
initially invested a certain amount. We have recovered that. We've broken even, and now it's a self-sustainable product. So the baby is walking on its own. The baby can take care of himself or herself, and we are happy with the way the baby is growing. We're just there as gatekeepers, as people who are custodians of the product. We are not here to make money. In the long run, do make money, we'll probably think of doing something else to expand the horizons of the channel rather than kind of utilizing it for our own self. It's more about putting back whatever we acquire from this product into the business again and making it stronger. That's the only ultimate.
And the perks of this business is we get to travel, we get to enjoy really good food, and we get to meet new people, interesting people. So these are the actual perks or profits from this business that we enjoy.
So it's wonderful to hear how passionate you both are about this web series. And another question that we have from the crowd for Mr. Mir, it says starting off your career as a newsreader, then a radio jockey, then an actor, a singer, a comedian, and now an entrepreneur. What was the motivation slash driving force behind you that made you explore so many different horizons in your career? Weren't you intimidated at first, which usually people are when they step out of their comfort zone?
Shivamdika, this question from who? Who put this question forward?
I'm sorry, sir, could you
Yeah.
please repeat the
Uh,
last statement?
can I have the name of the person who's put this question forward?
Yes, sir. The name of the person is Kiran Karar.
Kiran. Okay. Hey, Kiran. I love you, Kiran. Kiran. So, Kiran, thank you so much for the question. I started my career. It then came on to television. I started my career first with radio, and my audiovisual career kicked off 4 years later. 94 was when I got, but it kept on expanding and everything kept on adding on to it. Like, with a starter, and then have a couple of starters and soup. Then you add, there are main courses and there are desserts. I haven't yet come to the desert course. I'm still concentrating on the main course. Hopefully, I more course to treat myself to and also my listeners and viewers. And it's all about adding on to the experience. I never had a plan in mind as to this much work or do this on radio or do that on television. It just kept happening, just kept adding on. I really did not have any plan. I do not have a plan either for the come up. So I am a person who uh, works spontaneously, takes things as they come, and I don't plan too much because I, by nature, am not a person who has a goal or a set target in mind. So things kept on happening. I'm very lucky, very fortunate that things went my and I could also entertain people in the process. Uh, it ran my family, still runs my family, runs my costs, it runs my expenses. I can afford certain luxuries in life, and also in the course of the game, entertain people. So that is what from this entire journey of 25 plus years. Uh, I don't have a plan. I still don't have a plan. My father keeps telling me, what will happen to you when miracle comes to an end? Or what will happen to you when you do not have a side, when you do not go on, speak on the radio or shoot television? I have this. I am no. We'll come to that. I'll cross my bridge, come to them. But then I'm happy for it.
All right, so another question from the crowd says, Suryadeep Mandal says, Foodka comes up with unique places at every episode. It might require a lot of research. How do you work around the research of those restaurants as well as places?
See, the thing is, if somebody sees me in person, on camera, off camera, whatever, it's no secret that I love food. I love eating out, and that's how I've been to this khate pite ghar ke. But jokes apart, first we, as I said, first we decide on the food item. If it's biryani, we first decide it's going to be biryani, and then uh, we decide on the gut feeling. It's extremely personal. Say we showcase 5 or 6 places, 5 or 6 joints, but we don't say that these are the ultimate places. What we say is these are the places where we like the food. It may always so happen that somebody does not like the food there, or these are the crowd favorites, but they serve a decent food over a period of time, and each one of them has got certain specialty. So our job as vlogger, as YouTuber, rather as content creators, is to come out with places which are either cult places, everybody knows about them, option one, option two, which are favorites, but among a certain section. Like it's not everybody love the place. Like let's say there is a in the Momo episode we have featured a place called Hamro Momo. So there is this place in South Calcutta at Bishop Lefra Road where there are multiple Momo shops, Orchid, Tibetan Delight, Hamro Momo. So we had to choose one. And I chose that place where I used to go in my prime days. Girlfriends or you know the drill. We didn't have that much money. So I chose that place as a tribute to my youth. So, like this, it's extremely personal, extremely opinionated choice that wherever I like the food, or maybe Mir likes the food, or maybe other team members like Shonanda Banerjee or Moharaj. Moharaj is another food champion who is the prime DOP of the whole show. So wherever we like the food, go on to feature that place, provided it serves good stuff over a number of years. That's the way it's.
Hi, Indrajit sir. I am from the 2017 batch. I'm a part of the alumni from EDC. So my question would be, after we pass out from college, we move out of Bengal to various parts of the country, and then we love your episode. We try to come back to Kolkata, but that again happens once in 6 months or probably once in a year. So, what is your thoughts on moving out of West Bengal and try to be some other states so that we would get an idea of what all things are good in every other state?
I couldn't hear that. Is the question about my take on going out of Bengal and working there? Like, can I just have the question once again, please?
So, I wanted to ask what are your thoughts on moving out of West Bengal and try cuisines of other states as well, so that we get a flavor of all the different cuisines of different parts of India.
Let me tell you about my story. So, I had studied in Orissa in my college days. I stayed in Bangalore for a couple of years, stayed in Mumbai, and now, due to my work, I travel a lot to northeastern states and Orissa. So I have been traveling throughout my life, maybe for last what 20 years, and I don't primarily call myself somebody who is passionate only about Calcutta. I'm passionate about India as a whole, and if you go out of your state, rather of your comfort zone, it opens up your eyes. It opens up your eyes to a large extent. You tend to appreciate new things, you tend to adapt to new things, adapt to new food habits, maybe new lifestyle habits. So this is something which I feel everyone should do. I would love my son, who is now maybe what 10, 11, 10 years, I would love him to go out, to stay out in a hostel, to explore different lives, different new place, new friends, new language. So my Hindi changed a lot once I started interacting with guys, my friends from northern part of the country. So my Hindi still sounds like semi Lucknow and semi Bihari. So this is the way I feel. Variety is the spice of life. So everyone should be out of their comfort zone.
Thank you, brother.
All right, sir. We have another question from the audience. Orgo says, since Foodka is also kind of food vlogging, I wish to know that what shall the new food vloggers do for making such great content, since we find a lot of Bengali food vlogging channels coming up.
Mir, would you like to answer this or?
Yeah. Uh, I would say people are getting more and more experimental, and food is one area which you can experiment with. Also, trying to get across several segments of society, not just the language barrier, but also across different strata. Because if you look at the people logging onto YouTube today, look at the people taking up to vlogging. They come from very humble backgrounds, but it's become very aspirational. YouTubing today is a very thing. People are wanting to explore more areas. We have interacted with so many vloggers over the past few years, especially during the lockdown period, bloggers from Bangladesh. Uh, it's just a boundary. It's just a visa and a passport that separates us. Otherwise, we're all of the same tribe. We love eating out, we love exploring, and I think more of the youth is taking to. If you look at television, television is now for an audience which is completely what you see on YouTube. So people are here, they make their own choices, and they are invested here. They are they are wanting to make their product look better, better camera work, more research, PR skills also coming in forth here because people want to promote their product and get onto this entire thing. It's not just about food. If you look at travel, if you look at photography, if you look so, so big today, you have YouTubers who are they are having a wonderful time. So it's all about opening up your horizon, widening your horizon, and looking forward because more and more people would be taking away, contribute a lot to what we call content. And there are takers for every kind of content. We do not treat content good content or bad content. Every piece of content has a particular segment of takers. Uh, we just continue to do so. How we benefit from that and how prolific is our venture in the long run is for time. Otherwise, we're at the same level right now.
All right, sir. Our next question is from Mr. Sahil Jain. He says, "We know that shooting and all have begun. How does it feel to be to get back to the studios again? What all has changed?"
Mir.
Frankly, I have not yet begun my television activity or my cinema activity. I'm saying actually because it's a lot of stress for people who've already started doing that. It is a lot of stress. There is no denying the fact that things are not the same as they were before. And post COVID, it's stressful to do something.
Sir, apologies, your voice is breaking up slightly.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Am I
sir.
clear? Better?
It's clearer now.
I'm not shooting for television. I'm not shooting for films right now. As of now, I'm not shooting. Uh, A, it's basically pro-choice that we all support here. My choice is to not shoot. I prefer not shooting right now for because it is a laborious process. People who've already started doing that, the feedback we get from them makes it a little scary because we are ultimately we are in a creative, and if you're going to put your creative with so much of stress, I doubt the kind of outcome we'll have. People are going to the studios, it's almost like going to war. I find it much more comfortable for Foodka right now. We a very small unit, and it's not as laborious as going to the studio and shooting something. It's outdoors mostly or in a restaurant. We just managed to touch 6 particular places in the last 2 episodes of Foodka, which were post COVID. We're looking forward to doing much more work now, but do our work in our own comfort area. We don't want to stress it too much because A, we do not want to jeopardize the health of our unit members, which in any case is a very small unit. And we want to wait and milk the entire situation. We don't want to hurry up things. There is a lot to be done much before that. And security is of prime importance, much more important than doing whatever you want to do. That's exactly why and hopefully we'll be able to pump in some more content into Foodka. But we will wait, we will watch, and then proceed. I'm having the best time of my life because I have never had so much of leisure time. My family kept on us time. Now I'm like, here, you want more time? I'll give you more time. So it's more more time for my friends, albeit, of course, physical distancing uh, put together. But then it's much better than what it was pre-COVID. I would hardly get any time at home. I do not remember the last time I had lunch. So here I am. I'm enjoying. I'm sure Indrajit Lahiri would have something to say about this as well.
No, that's all. Like Mir explained it quite well. I am not really a show person. Have rarely been to the studios. But what I feel, this is a time of introspection. So we need to find out new ways of doing the old things. The corporate travel, which I have been so used to for maybe last couple of decades, now has been changed to these calls, virtual meetups, and life is going on. Business is there. It's still being done. Just the mood has been changed. So this new thing, this new way of work, we have learned, we have embraced, and we had no other option, I guess. So things have changed definitely, and I believe I am not very sure whether it's for good or bad, but change is the only constant.
Yes, so we still have questions pouring in from the audience. The next one by Oritra Mukherjee states, just like the Darjeeling season of Foodka, will there be any other seasons or episodes focusing on other districts in West Bengal?
We were actually supposed to start shooting in the districts of Bengal from end of March or first week of April, so that we could have come out with the episodes by May. But this 2.5 or 3 months of lockdown has changed the entire scenario. The entire thing has been changed. Shooting has been postponed. New season plan had to be done. So definitely we are going to come back with newer districts. We want to showcase Bengal as a culinary destination. We want to showcase the culinary varieties of Bengal, but it will take some more time, I believe.
All right, sir. Another thing that I'd like to add here is that, sir, in the parts of when we're talking about success in general, what do you think is the formula for success? Whether it be a web series or a career in general, what do you think is the formula for it?
Is there any formula for success? Mir, what do you think? Like, I don't know. I personally don't know of any formula. So is
I
there any formula at all?
I wish there was a formula, that it would not have taken me 25 years. Still struggling. I am still struggling. And I repeat, I am still struggling. I do not find myself successful. I do not brand myself as a successful artist. It's that I would like to be remembered as a diligent worker. I'm not even a very intelligent person, but I believe in hard work. And there is no substitute for hard work. No matter how cliched it sounds, you have to keep at it. Like a woodpecker, at it. Constantly keep hammering on whatever you're passionate about. And that will make your passion turn into gold. Uh, there again, you're not sure whether you would be enjoying the benefits of the gold that you kind of dug up. Uh, it's a mine. Uh, it will take time when it comes for opportunities to knock on your doors. Be wary enough, diligent enough to pick up the key and make good use of the opportunity. Because I think more than the success that we so kind of talk about, it is about those little opportunities that come your way. How good are you at grabbing those opportunities? ওই সুযোগগুলোর সদ্ব্যবহার করাটা কত ভালো ন্যাক রয়েছে তোমার মধ্যে, that is what makes you different from the others. We all work very hard. Ultimately, something called bhagyo. I do believe in that. I do believe in fate. But more than fate, I think I believe in hard work. Hard work is something which has no substitute.
An absolutely inspiring message, sir. We have another question from the crowd, from Shomo Shorkar. He says, Foodka and Mirda, post COVID, do you think that the restaurants will incur huge losses as people like me have started cooking delicious foods all by myself in my home and stopped ordering?
That's actually a good sign. You know, you've started cooking on your own. It's a very very good sign, and I think it will benefit you in the long run. You do your own cooking, you enjoy your own food, you have your family to enjoy your food. It's a great way. Uh, but when it comes to restaurants, yes, restaurants are facing huge losses. They are going through a huge crisis, something which is unprecedented, something which is unimaginable. We didn't really imagine that 3 months things would change so fast, and things are bound to change even further if we are not careful. But people who belong to the restaurant fraternity, they have this strong camaraderie, this strong feeling of family, where they are literally going out and dining at each other's places and supporting the community. It is very important to support the community. Okay, these are the places which made you feel special. These are the places where you've celebrated your birthdays, your anniversaries, your get togethers, you met up with friends at these places, enjoyed the food. This is the time where we need to express our solidarity with this community. Having said that, if you're not comfortable going to a restaurant, please don't force yourself, because I think under stress, you won't enjoy the food so much. Rather, if you feel you still want to support that restaurant, maybe you could order a takeaway, maybe you could call up the app service, get them over. You're still supporting the restaurant business, you're still supporting the food business. So do as you would care of business. And as regards your culinary skills, I mean, keep cooking, keep feeding others. I mean, I'm always for people who love cooking for them.
It's
And
coming back to the. I'm sorry, sir. Please continue.
no, it's okay. I
Yeah,
got disconnected. So tell me.
welcome back.
Yes, sir. Coming back to the financial impact of the lockdown, since a lot of new precautions need to be taken by all of the restaurants, and as you mentioned in one of your episodes of season 6, a restaurant has cut back its crowd by 50%. Do you think that will influence the prices on the menu? I mean, do you think it should influence the prices, or should the prices remain the same?
See, whether or whatever we believe, the price will take a small amount of hit because the revenue is down. The sitting capacity has been cut down to 50 to 60%. Due to the new hygiene standards, costs have gone up. Price of raw ingredients have gone up. Like mutton used to be at around 600 and now it's almost around what, 750, 800. So prices have gone up, but price will take a slight hit. But the thing is, more than the price, the margin or the profit margin will take a big hit because you can't raise price to that much. If it would have been X, you cannot right now get it to 2X because anyhow the sales is down. So you cannot raise the price that much. So you have to cut down on your profit margin. We understand this is a tough time for the food and beverage outlet owners, the food and beverage places, but maybe let's hope for the best and let's hope that this will pass. This phase will be passed.
Absolutely, sir. We have another question from Krishnendu Pole. He says, while making the series and meeting new people, how have you both experienced the emotions of Bengali people attached with all of the food and the locations?
I'll take this question. It is always a problem of getting love. Whenever we go to shoot, we are used to people rushing over us. We are used to people try to beat us and go to Mir Afsar Ali just for a selfie or an autograph. I can remember my very first day of shoot. We were shooting for the role episode. Now we were shooting at a place in Park Street, and I distinctly remember that gentleman who just shoved around our cameraman and said, "Dada, আপনি পরে ছবি তুলবেন, আমি আগে একটা ছবি তুলি." And he just pushed his hand in with a mobile phone. আপনি দাদা পরে তুলবেন, আগে আমি আমার ছবিটা তুলে নিই. And it was kind of strange. So but maybe that's the love or that's the affection that everybody wants to work for. I know Mir will say whatever, but we all love that attention. We all love that love. So they actually love us, and that's why they come to get a glimpse of Mir Afsar Ali, the real Mir Afsar Ali, who is beyond the camera. So this is something that is slightly troublesome but lovable. Yeah, Mir.
Yeah, Shibandika, I mean, whenever we've gone out to eat or whenever we've gone out to cover places, we've been showered with love from people. And we met so many different kinds of people. all in the same business, the business of food. Somebody is in the snacking segment, somebody's in the beverage segment, somebody's fine dining, someone's even doing a Pice hotel where you kind of go in and have a full meal about 100 rupees. So here is one world which connects so many strata of people, and we see people being passionate. Come across uh, restaurant owners who have a crew of some people who do everything from the shopping of ingredients to the making of the food to the service. And there we have people who belong to small pice hotels where the owner himself goes out to do the shopping. He goes to the bazaar, he goes to the local market and fetches those ingredients. And he fetches the ingredients in a way that he's kind of shopping for his own home, as if he's shopping for his own kitchen. So very passionate people involved in this entire thing, which is why I think it makes it more important for us as a team, not just for entertaining people, but also for spreading the message that this is the time where the food industry is under stress and we need to go all out to support them as much as our capacity permits us. And let's not shy away from restaurants. Let's not shy away from places who give us so much of love, so much of affection. This is probably a good time to stand by and be with them. I've we haven't seen for a long, long time. We haven't met up during the lockdown period. And hoping to have him back soon in an appropriate episode. As I said, that our main aim is to keep the unit strength as minimum as possible, even if it means reducing it by one or two people. We're still okay with that because we do not want to travel with a big unit. We do not want to travel with too many people for our own safety. And we want to get this message across to people. So, at an appropriate time, we will get Sugarto Sen back and hopefully we can have some more entertainment for him. Indrajit Lahiri.
সুগার তো সেন is someone we all love. He is our beloved Kaka. তো কাকার সঙ্গে অনেকদিন দেখা হয়নি and we ourselves are looking towards it. Maybe as Mir said, very soon in one of the episodes we'll have our Kaka back with that sugar to send wala thing. Yes. See, good food is always good food, and everybody loves to have food which they are grown up with. So if I'm looking for a mache jhol, in all probabilities, I'll first check the Pice Hotel stuff. It may so happen that somebody doesn't like to go there, sit and enjoy the. Might like to take a bicycle, have a takeaway, but good food is good food. So we tend to showcase the places where the food is cult, the food is good, and the food is the hero, not the place, not the ambience. They add up to the entire experience. A good ambience definitely adds up to the entire food having experience. But food is the primary thing, food is the king. So this is something that we definitely want to showcase. Yes, yes, correct.
No, maybe I can explain you a little because it's season of the Hilsa fish. ইলিশ মাছ বাজারে এসে গেছে 300টা ট্রলার প্রায় 20 টন এই দুদিন আগে ঢুকেছে আমাদের বঙ্গে. So I'm sure you would enjoy the song. I mean, we made this into the Roshogolla song. Um, মাছ ধরেছো কেমন দেখি তোমার ছিপে, ধরেছো কেমন দেখি তোমার ছিপে, রসগোল্লা খাবে যখন কেউ বাবা continuously with, and it's stuck on with the audience. Barto Sen is often seen singing this song. So
Yes.
we try to entertain more and more people with our antics, and looking forward to many more such fun-filled episodes. But also taking it from the previous question, you know, the pleasure that we get from a Pice Hotel is nothing less than the pleasure we get from a fine dining restaurant. It's the same. I mean, a packet of jhalmuri will give us the same amount of pleasure. Uh, if spoken would do at so for us, it's about khabar is khabar. Uh, so many people are connected with this industry from so many different strata of society. It's so heart wrenching to see the crisis that everyone's facing right now. But then we go on harping on the fact that we are in a crisis because everybody, everybody is going through a crisis. So we'll just have to be patient and we'll just have to wait till we get to a time when we can say, okay, close to what normal once was.
Okay, so one very informal question of sorts. Since we're talking about Foodka and we're talking to both of you, sir, I'd just like to ask, what is your favorite meal? Each of you.
Meal or meat?
Meal, meat, any one of the questions that you wish to answer. Preferably both.
I like I like ilish mach. Ilish mach bhat.
I love
Absolute
biryani
favorite, sir.
anytime, biryani anytime for breakfast, lunch, dinner,
And
anytime.
again biryani.
Yeah,
Now
biryani.
we can't forget biryani, but ilish mach is also loved. So ilish mach and biryani, two for me.
So that's incredible. Sir, would you like to give all of our students, all of the students present here, a concluding message, something that you think they'll carry with them for the rest of their college experience?
Mir.
I think food for thought is what we eventually should be digging on. We kind of often use is food for thought. Keep thinking, innovating, keep thinking about new ideas of communication, keep thinking of new ideas to engage people. This is a Cosmo world, and we all belong to each other. It's a very good us over food, and I'm sure there are many other fields which are left to be explored. Students of NIT Singapore would gearing up to face the world, real world, and no matter how rough and tough it gets, just remember you need to be passionate about whatever you're doing and keep that fire burning. As long as you keep that fire burning, your food is going to remain very hot, very tasty, very delicious.
All right, thank you so much. We were so incredibly honored to have both of you as a part of eSummit 2020, sir. I hope we have a
Thank you.
long-lasting relation with all of you, and
Surely.
we're eagerly awaiting for all of the new episodes in season 6. Thank you so very much, sir.
Thank you, Shebontika.
Thank
Thank
you
you so
so
much.
much.
Lovely
From
host.
Team Foodka, we are honored to be here. And thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, sir.